There's a new Zillow report that's freaking out a lot of homeowners, and it states that 53% of homes across the United States are losing value. And when I heard that, probably like you, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is my home underwater? Are we going to experience another 2008 market crash? Did my equity just disappear? My name's Travis Anderson, and in this video, we're going to discuss this Zillow report, and we're going to address what's happening here in the Twin Cities. Now, as stated, the headline does say 53% of homes have lost value across the United States. Now, this is according to the Zillow's automated Zestimate program. But right in the report, just below the headline, it also says that only 4% of homes are worth less than they were than their last time of sale. Now, that's a big contrast compared to the 53% that they're talking about in the headline. And that certainly helped me feel a little bit better, but let's get deeper into this. Because the report also states that 55% of Minneapolis homes have lost value. But that flies right in the face of what we know from our last market update, and that is that Twin Cities homes have actually seen a 3% appreciation year over year. How can both of those things be true at the same time? It's a couple of things. First is Zestimates are across all real estate, not just homes that are selling. And then secondarily, Zestimates can be wildly off. I remember about a decade ago where one of the executives of Zillow was selling their house, and the Zestimate was off by some 50%. Most sellers here in the Twin Cities, you're going to see prices flattening and maybe even coming down. And I'll make a prediction here towards the end of the video. Your equity is probably still very strong, especially if you bought your home prior to 2022. Now, in the Zillow report, it also says something pretty clear. It says that the largest declines in home values are going to be in those markets that saw the biggest surge during the pandemic. These are going to be places like San Francisco, Austin, Fort Myers. But that's not really what happened in Minnesota because we didn't see that surge of demand come into our market during the pandemic years. Here in the Twin Cities, this softening in pricing isn't really system-wide yet, but we are starting to see some areas where we have an increase of homes hitting the market. And then subsequently, with that extra competition and demand remaining similar, we're seeing prices come down. Here's the part that no one's really talking about, but I think every seller should understand. It's really threefold. First, overpricing is still the biggest mistake that you can make when marketing any product. Think about it. Imagine if you saw a gallon of gas being sold for $4 per gallon at the time of recording this video. Well, you would drive right past that gas station to the next one where you know you'll be paying closer to $3 per gallon. The same thing happens in real estate. A buyer's going to know what's on the market and what's for sale, and they're going to be able to very quickly, with just a touch of a button, compare your home to other properties. And if you're overpriced, they're going to drive right by it and on to the next one. And number two, it goes along with pricing, but condition also matters, and it's relative to your home price. Homes that feel move-in ready are still selling relatively fast. As of today, the median days on market is 49, but we are still seeing those really nice looking homes that are priced competitively selling faster. Now, I know that this is fairly intuitive, but to me, it's fascinating how many times we see homes where a seller wants to price it higher, leave room to negotiate, and totally miss the entire market as these buyers just drive by and look at the next one. And thirdly, we need to understand our true equity. So it's really important to price our home with a moving market, understand those costs that we might need to repair, as well as what our selling costs are, so we can take that equity and move it on to the next purchase. Because let's face it, even if you do lose a little bit of value on your home sale, if you're making a move, you're going to pick it up on your home purchase. Which I guess brings me to my prediction. Now, as stated in a previous video, we are in a 4% trend line here across the United States of real estate values. And in 2022, we jumped well above that trend line. Now approaching 2026, I have a feeling we're going to fall below that trend line or maybe right on that trend line. Because if buyers have an inflated price above the trend line, as well as what they feel like is an inflated mortgage rate, and the demand is going to continue to remain low, which there's no evidence of it increasing, and then homes continue to come on the market at a higher rate, we must see a softening. That's just basic economics. So yes, let's wrap this up. According to Zillow's often wrong Zestimate, 53% of homes across the United States have lost value. But according to that same report, only 4% of homes are worth less than they were at time of sale. And if we look here at the Twin Cities, we have appreciated 3% year over year. This is your reminder that headlines often tell a different story than what's in the report, that your home equity will probably benefit you moving forward. that even if you lose a little bit of equity, it's probably going to benefit you moving forward, and that your strategy on pricing and condition matters now more than ever. My name is Travis Anderson. I appreciate you watching this video, and as always, all my best to you and yours.